How do you move to a place from thinking it's a selfish act, which we hear in our culture, and we hear in the
all the time.
to something different? Can you talk a little bit about that movement?
Yeah, I for me it was a very, very sudden revelation. And connecting those dots was not very hard for me at the time. I had just never really had an experience that would cause me to really think it through. So when I
Mm,
found out about my father's suicide, one of the things I've always, just my nature, I've always been kind of a seeker. I've always tried to understand things, whatever the things might have been. So when I found out, I had the benefit of being in a world that was surrounded by technology. So I'm out there watching videos, and I'm out there researching everything I can, right, everything I can possibly research and take in about suicide and mental illness and what is that mindset like. And it was in doing that that I really realized for the first time as a grown adult that mental illness is an illness. It's an illness like a cancer, like a heart disease, like any other kind of an illness that needs to be treated, that needs to be acknowledged for what it is. And I think it was really almost an overnight shift for me, because once I internalized that, and I understood that when someone's in that state of mind, when they're completely desperate and hopeless, and whatever the reason is that that's their belief that that's the only way out, they're not thinking about who they're leaving behind. They're not thinking about what kind of damage or impact it's going to have on family or friends or colleagues, or the world at large. They're just thinking about, I need the pain that I'm in to stop. And yeah, and once I realized that, once I really understood that from the perspective of now being a survivor of that kind of loss, everything shifted for me. And there was no blame. There is no blame to attach to someone, because you would, I would imagine that if you're suffering with cancer, you're suffering with some kind of a terminal disease, you want that to end. That's your number one priority, and you, most people I would imagine, would do anything they could possibly do toward that end. And so how could we possibly feel like someone is being selfish when all they're trying to do is end the pain that they're in?